Oh, what a nice list of phrasal verbs. Let me save it. I must definitely learn them. Oh, look at that. Phrasal verbs with make. What a useful thing. Saving. Have you ever done so? Did you actually come back to those lists you have kept? How many of those phrasal verbs do you remember now? In this video, I'm going to share the strategies of how to understand phrasal verbs that I myself use and I teach my students too. Also, I'll provide you with several awesome resources to practice your comprehension and usage of phrasal verbs. Stay tuned. While learning lists of phrasal verbs can be good for your memory, I guess. Isn't it the reason why we learned poems at school? Anyway, it's getting into the logic of phrasal verbs, their literal and figurative meaning, that will actually help you sort them out once and for all. Wow, that sounded dramatic. So, a phrasal verb is a combination of a base verb, an action, and a particle, a preposition or an adverb. That's okay if you don't know the names of those parts of speech. Let's say a preposition or an adverb, it's a word that gives you some extra information of direction, place, or manner of action. For example, up, down, on, at, off. And it's the particle itself that changes the meaning of the verb. Let's take the base verb run and see how different particles can change its meaning to create different phrasal verbs. Run into means to encounter unexpectedly or by chance. For example, I ran into my old friend at the grocery store. Run out of means that you don't have any more of something because you used it all. For example, we ran out of milk, I need to buy some. To run over means to hit with a car. For example, the careless driver ran over the bicycle at the parking lot. Yeah, it's all very nice, you may think, but how do I learn it to understand and use it in my speech? The key word here is to understand. As I said earlier, it's the particle that changes the meaning of the verb. So by knowing its meaning, you can logically grasp the meaning of the whole phrasal verb. Let's try to do it together. Take, for instance, the word down. It can function both as a preposition and an adverb. As a preposition, down typically indicates the movement, location, or direction towards the lower position. So in the sentence, she climbed down the ladder, the preposition literally means descending from the higher point to the lower one on the ladder. Another example with the same logic. Please sit down on the chair. Change your position into a lower one in comparison to keeping a vertical position. At the same time, as an adverb, down typically conveys the meaning of descent, reduction, or completion. Can you understand the meaning of the phrasal verbs in the following sentences? Please keep your voice down or they will hear you. Keep your voice down. Reduce your voice and keep it at the same volume. Dressing down allows staff to be comfortable and to be themselves. To dress down means to put some less elegant business or formal clothes, so in fact to reduce the level of one's formality. While all previous examples of using the word down convey more or less the same meaning of reducing or getting into a lower position, which is basically its literal meaning, there is another side of this preposition. Take this sentence. You may need to write down the instructions to make sure that you can follow them accurately. To write down. To write something on the paper. We can imagine the process. We hear something when we speak to the person, then we kind of get down to the desk and a piece of paper to write down the message. It's very close to the literal meaning of the word down, but still less obvious. Wow, there are so many meanings and details of just one particle, but there are tons of them. It sounds like a daunting task to memorize them all. Well, yes, that's true, but we have already figured out. If you need to decipher the unknown phrasal verb, the first thing you pay attention to is the particle. First and foremost, what you need to do is to analyze the context in which the phrasal verb appears. Context will help you distinguish between literal and figurative meaning of the phrasal verb. Take the phrasal verb run out. What does it mean? Well, out literally means to leave someplace. For instance, she ran out of the room to meet her grandma. However, this logic may get broken by such a sentence. We are running out of time. We can't leave time as it's some physical location, can we? In this case, it must be its figurative meaning, not to have something anymore. Would you like me to make a video covering the most common particles, their literal and figurative meanings? Please let me know in the comments. There is a brilliant resource which can help you master the commonly used particles in phrasal verbs. Let's go through this together. Do I need to say it's not sponsored? Well, it is not. So, the website called Phrasal Verb Demon. Nice, right? When you come to this website, you can see the list of possible options where you can go. First of all, we need to get the logic. Introduction. Yeah, you can read a little bit more on the logic of phrasal verbs. All the prepositions, that's not all, but common prepositions that can be used as part of phrasal verbs. So let's go to the part logic, and here you see a lot of particles that can be used as a part of phrasal verbs. If you press on any of them, let's take the particle of. It directs you to the meanings, different meanings of the particle of, which is leaving, removing, separating, and so on. Really 9 meanings of this particle with common phrasal verbs and examples, which is really pretty awesome when you need to find some phrasal verb. Next, you can try your listening skills. There is a choice of levels, beginner, intermediate, or advanced, and you can click on the video and then listen to you can listen to this audio. You have transcript if you need, and a list of phrasal verbs which are used in this listening track for your practice. You also can try out your reading skills with the same logic. We have choice of levels, beginner, intermediate, advanced. Then let's choose advanced, kicking the habit. There is a text with different phrasal verbs in it and explaining the meaning of these phrasal verbs below the text. Cool, isn't it? You can test your knowledge with the same logic. And if you want to hear phrasal verb in different life situations, I highly recommend trying this website. Still not sponsored. So we go to this website. Here you have everything's pretty simple. You just type in the phrasal verb you want to listen to. For example, let's say the phrasal verb again, run out of. We have a lot of examples with this phrasal verb today. And press say it. Then you will have plenty of videos.
That's right.
With using of this phrasal verb in real life situation. It could be some shows, series, films, whatever. Let's move to the next one. Okay.
Nearly run out of middle names.
Yep, and the next one.
Nearly run out of middle names.
Each year that previously ran out of the neighborhood.
Well, that's it for today's video. I hope it was useful. Both resources are linked down below in the description box. Don't forget to let me know in the comments if I should make a video covering most common particles used in the phrasal verbs. Thank you for being with me this time, and see you very soon.